morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. We're here with Nicole Littles out of Florida. Just had her 1 year anniversary in real estate. She had a great first year. We're going to talk about it. Stick around. Here we go. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. Down there in sunny Florida. Is it just
Yes.
sunny and beautiful right now? Yeah.
Right now it's a little bit overcast, but typically it dies off at about 10 o'clock and then we'll be all
There you
sunny
go.
again.
Where are you at in Florida? Where at?
In Southwestport, so we're in Fort Myers.
Okay. Okay. My
hmm
grandparents used to go down there every year. You know, the snowbirds or whatever they call them from Indiana.
It always starts out that way.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, it's good to see you. So, real quick, let's kind of jump into your story a little bit. You know, I know your dad was a realtor, right? You're here in Colorado, Woodland Park, Colorado. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did real estate up there for 42 years.
Okay.
He built a really successful company up there through Coldwell Banker. He actually started that. And just recently retired in the last couple of years. So he's down here in Florida during the snowbird season with me now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good start for me.
There you go. So you got that background. When you were growing up, did you ever, because I remember my kids they saw me doing crazy stuff. They didn't want anything to do with real estate. I mean, because we were working like crazy. We were working, 7 days a week. And back in the day, it was crazy, and so my wife got her license in 2005. That helped, but we definitely
Yeah.
had a few years there where the kids were just like, oh my gosh, like they hated it.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that at all with your dad? Like, was your dad ever working that way, or did he build a good solid business where he wasn't having to do all that
He
kind of
did
stuff?
a really good job with family balance. So
Yeah,
and I'm going to talk about this probably a little bit later too, because he
sure.
was able to incorporate my sister and myself into the business, and we learned a lot from that. And so I would say that he did a good job. He was at every single gymnastics meet that I had, anything that was school function related. If he needed to meet with teachers, like he made that a priority. And so I definitely learned a lot from the balance of family and real estate and everything, from him. So I would say I didn't have a bad taste in my mouth. I did want to go right out of high school. I did want to go my own way, and I went into cosmetology, and I love that. I love being creative and that type of stuff. But I can say a lot of the foundation of everything that I've learned in life was from the home and from just everything that my dad was able to pour into us. So
Yeah,
yeah, it was a
that's
lot
awesome.
of good balance. Yeah.
That's awesome. We finally figured it out, but man, we had a couple years there where, and honestly, like when I started, I got in 2002. That's when I got licensed, and my kids were 6 and 3. So I wanted Lane to be home here with the kids, and all on me, 100% commission. So man, I busted myself, and just
Yes.
I did like 32 deals my first year, 50 my second, 72 my third by myself. Which you've been in it for a year. You can imagine what that would be like. I mean, it was just
Yes.
chaos,
Intense.
chaos,
Yes.
and whatever. And so Lane got her license, and then it just took us a couple years. We finally figured that out, and we were able to, get some balance back and travel and do all kinds of stuff with the kids, which was fun. We made up for it, I feel like. But man,
Yeah.
we had a couple years there where it was way out of balance, and
It's
if I could
easy to
get those
do.
2 years back, I would do it differently for sure. So, well, that's
Yeah.
good. So you just what made you want to get your license? A year or two ago. You've been licensed now for a year,
Yeah.
right?
One
And for
one year
what
in
what?
March.
Yeah.
So I kind of went through a process of my own. My husband and I do fix and flips. And so I feel like I've always been in real estate, even though I wasn't licensed. And so when my husband and I are now on our fourth fix and flip, and I'm giving away commissions, it's kind of hard to just give them away when,
Right.
you can obviously take that for yourself. And as much as I feel like I did know about real estate, it was hard to kind of just let go of that kind of control as well. So a combination of a lot of things, but I can say that it was just the right time for me. I really do feel like it was just the right time. Um, there's a quote that says when timing meets preparation, or preparation meets timing, it just takes over, and that's success. And that's, I feel like, exactly what happened to me this first year, and why I did have it on my heart to get my license last year is just the timing. So
Yeah, it's a tough market. I mean, what's the market like right now in Florida? I'm assuming it's probably very similar to what we have here in Colorado. I mean, it's definitely it's a seller's market everywhere, all across the country. I know that. What
yeah.
are you dealing with right now? Like, is it? Well, let's go back. Let's talk about this first year. I mean, because you had to really, if you can make it in this market and do well, like, man, you're set up, I think, probably for the rest of your career, in terms of the good agents adjust. I
Yeah.
mean, we have to go through different challenges, and you figure out what works and what doesn't. And 2008, we all had to make adjustments. The ones that didn't, they're not in the business anymore. I mean, that's
I
just how it
think
works.
I think it's a blessing in disguise that this was my first year, because I don't have anything to compare it to.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just put my blinders on and I just ran my own race, and I just dealt with what was given to me. And so luckily I do have my dad as my mentor, and he's been in the business for 42 years. And so he's been through every high market, every low market, every in-between market, everything that you can imagine. And
Sure.
so I had that, as my support and just kind of the guidance. And so I can say, from a Florida market right now, we've been seeing a ton of people just taking out their Roth RIAs and all kinds of investments and everything like that, and putting it straight into real estate down here. And everything is pretty much cash. And I think that's a lot of the places right now. So we've seen a lot of that, and dealing with that is definitely different from what I've been told. But again, I don't have anything to compare it to. So it was a
Right.
great first year of experience, and I learned a lot. I can say just kind of some helpful nuggets that I learned this year through it
Mm-hmm.
was, my dad actually taught me this, but it's making your offer stand out and really making sure that the other realtors are educated on what offer I'm presenting. So, for instance, my dad, what he did in some of the markets that he's been in, was, it's called an option offer. And so it's actually giving the seller an option. And to be honest, it's just a great, you know, um, selling technique, because a lot of people like options versus you giving them direction. And so,
Right.
as the seller of the homes, you're giving them an option. And basically, the option was option A or option B. Option A would be a higher price with a further out close, or option B would be a shorter close with a lower price. And you educate the other realtors on what would work best for the seller, because you're trying to mix, the buyer and the seller, and come to an agreement on what would work for both parties. And so by doing that, not only did my offers really stand out to other agents, but almost every single one that I did an option was accepted.
Nice.
And so I think that was very, very crucial for this market, and just something that's very different, that not a whole lot of people, I would say 90% of all agents, had never even heard of an option offer.
Sure.
So
That's
it just
awesome.
kind of, I think, gave me a little leverage down here,
Mm-hmm.
because it fit into, both the buyer and the seller. And like I always say, trying to find a win-win situation for both parties.
Right.
So that was something huge that I
Well,
learned
that's
this
good.
year.
No, and it's those little things like that that just, it might be, again, just a subtle little difference, but there's 10 offers on that property, whatever, or more. We're seeing some of
Hmm.
that craziness, whatever. And
Yep.
what can you? That's a good point. What can I do to make mine a little bit different? And again,
Yeah.
to get in there with that other agent and be able to explain it, and
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay. What
Yeah.
kind of stuff have you done in terms of just even to make yourself stand out a little bit with with your clients, and being able to get the deal, being able to get them to work with you, Is there anything that jumps out to you in that sense where, how you've been able to hit it off with them, different things? Because there's got to be that connection there sometimes, but they're
I
looking around,
do.
buyers, they get online, they start searching around for homes and, they get on 5 different agents' websites. Why should they work with Nicole versus working with, Joe over here at this other company or whatever?
I think my biggest thing is just trust. When I go to sit down with any client and try and figure out what they're looking for and that type of stuff, I'm building a rapport with them. If they choose not to work with me, that's totally fine. But I give them pretty much everything that I do have, and that is full trust. So that's something that I think is crucial with any kind of business. Is just that mutual trust, and I don't necessarily sell them on my products or what I'm doing or anything like that. Just
Hmm.
myself and who I am as a character before anything else.
Right. Definitely. And talk about this. So you've got 5 kids.
I do.
You're a busy lady right there. And number
Yes,
6, you got a bun in the oven.
I do.
Number 6
Yes,
is coming. You're crazy lady down there in
I
Florida.
am. I am. I look at my life and I think the same thing. Sometimes I really don't know how I'm making it through, but we are. It's
And
my
I think
life.
again, there's things that can be even talked about there. Full time mom, obviously. Full time wife. I mean, you've got James. I know James, but to be able to have such a good first year, in and around all of that. I mean, that's big.
It is.
What are the ages of your kids?
My oldest is 13. So I have 13,
Okay,
12, 11. And then I have a gap. And then I have a 5-year old, a 2-year old, and a baby on the way. So
gotcha.
six kids total now.
Right. Let me go looking back over the last year. Is there anything? What would you do different if you could do it all over again? Does
I
anything
think
jump
that's
out at you there?
no, that's a hard question because, again, like I said at the beginning, I just kind of put my blinders on.
Hmm.
I don't know what most agents for the first year looks like for their success story because I'm so focused on my own success story. I don't know anything else as far as what I should have done or anything like that. I can say the first year experience for me was absolutely amazing. Not only just through EXP, but just as a first time agent,
Hmm.
learning everything, growing as a person, growing as, yes, a stay at home mom, but also a businesswoman and a wife and everything that encompasses that. So I don't necessarily say I have any regrets. I really do feel like this first year was amazing.
Yeah. Well, they say that most realtors. I mean, what is it, about a 2-year lifespan on average? Most of them. That's it. They throw in the towel. They're done.
Six
And
months,
what?
if that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, average realtor what does 6 deals a year? I think that's the last I saw. National Association of Realtors. Their stats that they keep and stuff. Which, I mean, I remember when I saw that 20 years ago. I'm like 6 deals a year. I'm like, I mean, I get it. Everybody can do whatever they want to do. Like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Like, so I go for it.
Yeah.
And that could
Yeah.
be a strength and a weakness. Again, I could do it at the expense of everything, my health,
Yeah.
my family, my all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you got to have that drive and that
Yes.
discipline, to get out of bed in the morning and get on the phone and get on your websites and start generating business. You got to hustle in this business if you're going to be your own boss. Some people just aren't designed to be their own boss.
Yeah.
We could all do it, but most people, that's what happens, I think. And, they push themselves out a little bit. So
It's true.
let me ask you this, because, and again, I got this thing going across the bottom here, because there's kind of that stigma out there, with some people that, oh, EXP's, it's yeah, it can be a good place, but definitely not a good place for brand new agents.
Okay.
What would, and I know you haven't plugged into like all the stuff that EXP offers and stuff. You've plugged into something. In what ways has EXP benefited you your first year?
Well, I can say when I was looking at going either traditional real estate or EXP, which is virtual and everything, um, it's it's a hit and miss. Both amazing opportunities at both places. My dad built a very successful traditional business through Caldwell
Hmm.
Banker, and that worked for him. Again, it was him. My mom, was a stay-at-home mom, and he was doing real estate. For me, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and real estate comes into that. And so I really needed something that was a little bit more flexible, not traditional, stuff that I could plug into when I had availability, not because it's a set day of the week and you have to be there from 10 to 12 for this meeting. And so EXP really did have the best structure for that. And so when I got plugged in with you, yes, at first it was challenging because it's a whole new world, but
Right.
real estate was a whole new world too. And so it's just learning and taking the time to learn what you do have and plugging into what you do have. So you're in Colorado and you're, the one that signed me up, but I'm here in Florida. And so I had to learn how to get onto the marketplace. I had to learn, all of these different things, the workplace and everything to get connected into the people that were down here in Florida. And so I think that EXP, one, it just created the flexibility that I could still, be at home, take my kids to and from school, the days that I did have meetings or, showings or anything like that. It allowed me to just kind of fit in, the education portion in the evenings or early mornings or anything like that. So it's just the whole structure of it that really fit better into my lifestyle. And I'm very, very grateful for that because I can tell you during pregnancy, if I did have to go to meetings, it would not end so well. So it's been really good fit for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and just to share, again, just people watching this, you're going to have some, new realtors, 2-year-old realtors watching this, people in school watching this, whatever. I think, again, shop around. You definitely want to shop around. I think it's good to get out there, take a look at all the models. But, you got to go what's right with you or for you.
Yes.
Totally respect that. I would tell people, like, look at this. Like, don't just, well, maybe I'll look at it 2 years from now. Let me get my feet on the ground in my real estate business. There's, we've got a lady here in town. I mean, she got licensed June of 2020. I mean, talk about timing. I mean, we were still locked down at that point. We couldn't do open houses or anything. And she did 42 deals her first year.
Wow.
She hit our icon status. She just posted it this morning. She hit it for year number 2.
Wow.
So she gets all her 16,000 back in stock and all these bonuses that we get. I mean, she's just a massive agent. And she, here's her story 2 years in, and she's just absolutely killing it. So now, again, you can do whatever you want to do. You can, that's not going to be your goal. You got 5 kids, and there's no way you would never be expected to even do something like that. That'd be unbelievable if you did that. But the fact that that is possible here, or anywhere, if you have that drive and that discipline, but when you talk to her, it's like the collaboration. She talks about that all the time. That everybody working together. She had so much support and help with that. She plugged in, like you said, and I think that is such a key. We have 80 hours a week of live training. Well, if you never go to any of it, we might as well have 0. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I was on there yesterday on the calendar. There were like 15, 16 classes yesterday. I mean, it's just like more than you could ever possibly sit in on. So it's there if you want it.
Right.
I mean, the leads are there. If you get the website set up and plug into the training and take advantage of that, like there's no reason why this can't work for any agent.
Yes.
The brand new agent to come over, but you still have to have that self-discipline and that drive to get up and go do it. The phone's not just going to start ringing because, oh, Nicole got her license. I need to call her, sell my house. It doesn't work that way, So where do you see yourself going with this? I mean, where would you want to be with your business, say 5 years from now? And I know that, James is working, it's not 100% dependent on you, which is nice, whatever.
Yeah.
But where do you want to go with your business? Where do you want to take it?
This year, I just took everything kind of in stride. I did have Icon, in my focus zone. I was very close to hitting it. I ended up getting to the 100% commissions. So that was amazing, but for sure, Icon, just being able to really get more involved and be able to just pour into other agents and pour into other people, whether they're new or old or whatever. I really do have a desire to just facilitate some more of that.
Yeah, for sure. I love the mentoring aspect of it. I love, it's probably why I love doing this, because I just know that there's people that'll watch this and it can just help. Like, you got a new agent out there, like, okay, wow, I do need to do this, or there's an idea, there's a thought, So, no, very cool. Well, you're going to do great things. I mean, it's going to be a big year for you. When's the baby due?
About 7 more weeks.
7 more weeks. Oh my
Yep,
gosh, it's coming quick.
it is.
Well, get out there, Nicole. Hustle. Come on, we gotta. No, you'll be able to take some time off. It'll probably be a slower year for you a little bit this year on purpose.
Yeah.
Should be. So definitely. Well, I'm excited for you. It's great having you. It's great having you over here. I appreciate that we could connect and kind of build this thing. It's great that we could do this. You in Florida, me out here, whatever, and
Yes.
virtually. There's all kinds of things. And again, you're right. You could watch a training at midnight if you needed to, or
Yep.
work on different things all hours of the day and night. With the way this model is set up, and it can be such a good fit for
A lot of
everybody.
people.
Any last things that you would want to just to wrap it up? Any last things, words of wisdom that you want to share with anybody out there? Let's take a look here.
Yeah, I think so. Just because I am a mom, and
Mm-hmm.
this is speaking to the moms and dads that are out there, include your kids. My dad was very fortunate enough to, while he was building it, really include my sister and I. But that included going to Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, Brian Buffini, all of the really greats of this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, you don't know how much you're picking up until, again, the timing meets preparation. And I can tell you right now that all of that stuff that was instilled as a child, it just continued to grow with each thing that I tried, whether it be sports or work or now real estate. And so, including your kids in that, one thing that he also did was he did like a chart, and it was like a sticker chart. So when we were really little, every time my dad had a showing, we got to put a sticker on the board. Every time he had a closing, we got to put a sticker on the board, and it had different levels. So if he had 5 showings, we got to go to Dairy Queen, or if he closed a home, we got to go to something that we chose, the siblings chose on the board. And it doesn't just help the kid be excited about family business, but it helped my dad because it kept him accountable when he would come home and I would say, "Dad, did you show a house today? Did you close a house today?" And it kept him accountable because he didn't want to come home to nothing, to tell
Right.
me, to let me down. And so I do think that because we're building families and we're building business, it's important to kind of integrate both of those. And so I think that's kind of my final, just nugget for you guys to take along with you is you can build a business being a mom, a wife, a real estate agent, a friend, everything like that. Just put it together.
No, and that's powerful. That's really good. I mean, that reminds me, like, again, just to share my daughters. It's funny because I remember like that is one thing. I did take them to different conferences. Craig
Yep.
Proctor, we'd take, Lane and the kids would come with me. And, even though I'm going into the conference itself primarily, there were a couple days, if there was a guest speaker coming in, whatever, I'd bring them in and the kids sitting
Yep.
there. And, they've been around some of that. They've seen me doing it, all these books back here. They see me reading all these, different kind of, spiritual books, Christian books. There's also a lot of personal development books back there. But I remember we were on vacation one time, and there's my daughter on the beach, and she's reading a book by Les Brown.
Yeah.
It popped up on my Facebook memories a couple of days ago. So it was from Mexico, like 7, 8 years ago. I mean, here's my 14-year-old reading a Les Brown book. Which, if you don't know
Yep.
Les Brown, look him up. I mean, he's just a powerful speaker.
Yeah.
And hold on, I'm sorry, that's crazy. My phone. Powerful speakers, but the fact that you see a 14-year-old reading that while we're on the
Yes.
beach, and now I look at my kids now, and now they're grown, 23 and 26, whatever, and they're doing phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that personal development that they picked up on, those nuggets, those seeds that were planted when they were way back here, and how that's paying off for them now. They're
Yes.
not doing real estate, but they're doing so well with what they're doing. And I know so much of that. If you asked them right now, if I got them on here, they would say, "Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, we saw you doing it. We saw mom doing it,
Yes.
whatever." And so they did it. And
Yep.
man, how that's paid off for them. So your kids will be the same way. That is great advice for parents out there,
Yep.
to involve them. Don't
Yeah.
make them bitter about the business,
Yep.
pull them into the business and
Yes.
set it up as a family and what that can lead to.
Yeah, for sure.
Powerful. Great stuff. Well, Nicole, I appreciate your time. You really had a great first year. Congratulations on
Thank
on
you.
the new baby on the way.
Thank
And
you.
I definitely look forward to seeing it. It's going to be great to have you and be able to spend some time there, with the family this year for sure, whatever. But I'm sure later in the year you'll get things going and have another great year. And you got some great things ahead of you for sure. So
All
anyway, it
right.
is
Well,
great
thank
to
you
be
so much,
partnered
Jake.
up with you. Seriously,
Yeah.
I appreciate your
Thank you.
time. So, guys, again, thanks for watching. You any comments you want to put in there, either on Facebook, LinkedIn, on YouTube, whatever. If you have questions for either myself or Nicole, we'll definitely get back to you on those. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely hit the subscribe button. We're doing a couple of these a week, and just some good tools, tips, nuggets, things you can plug into your business. But subscribe on there. Hit the like button, whatever. That always helps us out as well. So. Have a great day. Have a great week. Again, Nicole, thank you so much. It's been
You're
awesome.
welcome. Have a
Have
good
a
one.
great day down there in Florida.